Welcome to Spokane Talks, where you find news, views, and conversation that includes respect for opinions, facts, and diversity. Spokane Talks is brought to you in part by McNeese Wheeler Attorneys, Ponderosa Republican Women, and Rana Paint.
Welcome to Spokane Talks, news, views, and conversation. I'm Ryan McNeese. On tonight's episode, we'll be discussing fire safety preparedness. Next will be the business of college sports with Cory Violett and Richard Fox. Then we'll be talking to Spokane's world champion Lumberjill. And finally, Cindy Haval on the front porch.
Ponderosa Republican Women is a club with members that come from every part of Spokane County. Although they differ in age, occupation, ethnic background, and cultural heritage, these women and many men stand together to promote government based on conservative principles, discover lifelong friendships, meet elected officials and candidates, hear challenging speakers, receive campaign training, and learn about the electoral process. Our meetings take place on the second Thursday of every month. Follow Ponderosa Republican Women on Facebook for more information.
And welcome again to House to Home. I'm Clyde Hawsey, and today our special guest is Guy Gifford with the Department of Natural Resources. Welcome aboard, Guy.
Thank you, Clyde.
Well, you know, when I drove in here, I actually had my sunglasses on, and I think summer is coming along. You know, and on House to Home, we try to fit the time and needs that are taking place that you as a homeowner should be looking at. And on House to Home, we do try to work with the preparation for and I'm going to use the word fire season coming on board. Isn't that true right now? I mean, it's that time of the year?
It's that time of year. It's actually already started. Fire season has started. We've actually had over 200 fires already this season, but most of them are small in size and haven't been real damaging, so people really haven't noticed. We've actually lost several structures already this fire season. It's not even July yet. Really?
Well, you know, sometimes it's news reporting, and sometimes we hear about them, but we don't recognize that they are probably just right next door, Guy?
Yeah, a lot of more just right next door,
yeah.
Just small fires. So
well, you know, the first thing about the fire season, you need to become prepared for the season, which means that really you should have started doing this preparation back in April and May, getting the things cleaned up around your home, right? And you brought along some pruning tools here, I see.
Yeah, I brought some tools to talk about different tools that people may use and think about which is appropriate tool and how much money they should buy on the tool to do the job.
Well, you know, and if you're going to go out and start protecting your home, again, the dollars and cents that you're working with, it really means nothing. It's how you can get the job done in the best way and prevent it from actually spreading as we actually go into the season itself, right?
Yes, it is.
Some of the tools you have here, you have loppers, I see, and you have even a cheap a cheap saw that works really well. But again, folks, when you're doing this, get the right tool, enjoy yourself, involve the family, get the kids kind of brought into that particular mode. Would you agree with that?
Get everyone involved. I know around our house, I get the kids out there. We help cut things up, chip things up, and it's a great spring, summer project for us.
Well, you know, one of the things here in Spokane area and around our immediate area, we have a lot of natural trees around us, the pine trees, and of course the underbrush. And that's really what we're after, is the underbrush, because that is a flammable item. And also, I'm going to tell you, as a landscape architect, you're looking at a lot of the junipers. And the junipers are like adding kindling to the base and around the foundation of your home. Am I right?
Yeah, the thing with the junipers is they get affected several ways by fire. One thing about junipers, they often accumulate a lot of dead material inside of them. And from a fire standpoint, we call that kindling. And we get a little ember comes in from the fire. And embers are like matches. And anytime we get a fire, we get all these embers coming in. And they can easily land in that kindling in the juniper, start that on fire, and then start the whole plant on fire. So you don't actually have to have flames near your house for your house to be threatened by wildfire.
The following is sponsored by our friends and community supporters at McNeese Wheeler Attorneys. McNeese Wheeler is a boutique law firm in Spokane, handling matters in both Washington and Idaho. Areas of law include business law, wills, trusts and estates, family law, personal injury and wrongful death, and real estate matters. For your full-service legal needs, contact McNeese Wheeler Attorneys.
Well, you know, in our area that we live here, there's a lot of viewing people here at this particular show is going to say, you know, I do live in this outside area. I do live in this outside perimeter where fires can come in. And I think back when the Ponderosa fire came in, what, 91, 93?
91.
91. I mean, it started on the outside perimeter, but it came all the way through the middle of a major housing area. So we need to understand, just because we have pavement around us and there's other homes around us doesn't mean we're not going to have a problem. So again, being prepared is the most important thing. The other thing is at my own home, I set up a little corner of my home down the basement of a few items. I said, irregardless what happens, if I'm not here, take this pile with you. It's keepsakes, it's items, because when you're coming around the door and you're saying it's time to evacuate, you don't mean tomorrow, you mean now.
Yes, and the other thing with any time of wildfire, having a plan. How do I talk to my kids? How do I talk to my parents? How do we make a connection when we can't get back to our house? Where's a meeting spot or a phone number that everyone can call to check in? And so that's part of the planning, what you're saying. And keep those keepsakes are a priority, because what's really valuable to every homeowner is not my personal opinion, not the home. It's the pictures, the mementos. Those are irreplaceable.
They are so true. Again, can you give us the phone number? We're right at the end of our show here, and I want to have people, if they have other questions. What is the phone number again that they can call?
Our Colville office, 509-684-7474.
Folks, this has been a great time to be a little bit serious. It gives us some time to think. I know today it's kind of cool and it feels good out there. But just be aware of that things can change instantly, right, Guy? I mean,
we are that place of the season where any week now we're going to go from moderate to high to extreme very, very quickly.
Well, if you drive through the woods right now and you'll see this little Smokey the Bear, he's on low right now, but...
Moderate.
Oh, moderate.
He's already at moderate.
Oh, my gosh, he already raised up a little bit. So, again, it's doing what Guy said. It can change instantly. We have to be aware of it and be prepared, and that is the most important thing. So, Guy, I want to say thank you for coming in. I know our viewing audience is saying the same thing, because guess what? I didn't think it's time. It's time now, folks. You get with it. So until next time, I'm Clyde Hawsey, Guy Gifford with Department of Natural. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you for
because maybe
me
we can help one or two other people that they can say thank you, Guy.
Next up on Business Talks, Cory Violett and Richard Fox discuss the business of college sports.
Ponderosa Republican Women is a club with members that come from every part of Spokane County. Although they differ in age, occupation, ethnic background, and cultural heritage, these women and many men stand together to promote government based on conservative principles, discover lifelong friendships, meet elected officials and candidates, hear challenging speakers, receive campaign training, and learn about the electoral process. Our meetings take place on the second Thursday of every month. Follow Ponderosa Republican Women on Facebook for more information.
Welcome to Business Talks. I'm Ryan McNeese, and we're here in the studio with Cory Violett and Richard Fox talking about the business of college athletics. Thank you both for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
College athletics, and specifically football at big-time levels and basketball at big-time levels, and the fact that you experienced playing at Gonzaga, both class of 2004. Big-time sports, it's a billion-dollar industry now. Do we compensate? Should we compensate athletes? What are your opinions on that?
I think we're doing the right thing at the start by asking that question. Certainly there's a lot of avenues you can go down. What does compensate mean? When you say I'm going to pay somebody, how do you mean? Do you mean via money or via scholarships or
via endorsements?
You name it. So, but I think you got to start asking that question. As Richard and I have talked about for a long time. You know that looking at the revenues now and the money that comes in and the glitz and glam that comes with these big time programs, it's become a business. And so knowing, you've got to ask, well, is everybody that's working there, do they have the same opportunity that everyone else has? Well,
and Cory and Richard, for both of you, you've lived this. You've lived the unbelievable amount of hours that you put into college athletics. Yes, you've had great experiences at Gonzaga, but I think you definitely have lived and get a sense of if you are quote unquote a wage earner, which is the argument here, you understand what it takes for the university that then generates these billion-dollar broadcast contracts.
Yeah, it's we're not. I know Cory and I both feel this way, and I think most people recognize that college athletes are not mistreated. This is a fabulous opportunity. You get your education paid for. In our case, we got to play on television. Great. We played all over the country.
You've lived the benefits.
It was just a fabulous experience. But there's a difference between mistreatment and exploitation. So if I'm able to earn income based on your efforts, but then I artificially limit or eliminate your ability to earn an income based on your abilities, that's exploitation. And that's my view on how college athletics at a high level, the money-producing sports of men's basketball and college football, that is what the system has created. And I do think that you're seeing more and more folks that within college athletics, but more importantly, more than likely, is the public is recognizing this is not an equitable situation.
Good point. And the balancing of the revenue stream coming in versus the compensation. Let's take a short little break and come back and continue to talk about the business of college athletics.
See you tomorrow night, and thanks again for taking care of the painting.
I got this.
Bye.
Weekends are made for painting. Let the experts at Rada Paint take care of you.
Hi. This looks amazing.
Rada Paint, over 80 years of quality, tradition, and trust. Find it in every can.
Welcome back to Business Talks, discussing the business of college athletics with Richard Fox and Cory Violett. As we left for break, we were talking about the revenue streams balanced with the equitable compensation. I think when you look in 2015, 38% of the public thought we should compensate and or pay athletes. Does that make sense? Does that seem correct in your experience that the public would have that opinion?
It makes sense that it's trending that way. I think the more that you see how commercialized college athletics has become, the more you think, well, maybe these kids are generating more value than their scholarship is giving them. And so I think you're going to see that swing more and more. I'd go so far as to say that if the NCAA is truly unwilling to change for a long enough period of time, you're going to see it go by the wayside. I mean, I think there were even discussions only on the surface, but the SEC was saying maybe we should just start our own league. I mean, we've got enough commercial value. We can support this without being in the NCAA. So I think you may see that. Maybe not the next couple of years, but it's coming down the pipe.
Does the compensation of the athletes, the idea of compensation, does it affect the sanctity of amateur athletics?
No, I think that's a false argument, this idea. So I'm a student, go to class, I perform well, I get a scholarship for what I could, my athletic ability, and then because I'm marketable, because I'm talented, some third party outside of the academic institution wants to offer me some income to be an endorser or whatever the case might be. You can be two things at once.
Right.
I can earn a living while also playing within the constructs of the NCAA. I just think it's a false argument, and it'll be interesting to see what is that. To Cory's point, what will be that turning point? I think the way you ask a question matters.
Absolutely.
In defining pay, as it sits right now, most people don't really have a sense of what that looks like. And in my mind, if you think of it as a free market, I think people would get behind that. And
currently, you've both indicated, big-time college sports, it's based on merit as it is right now at the biggest programs. Thank you both very much. This is an extremely complex issue, and I appreciate chatting with you both. Thank you. Next up, Stephanie Regalado sits down with Spokane's champion lumberjill, Erin LaVoie.
Hello, welcome to She Says. I'm the host, Stephanie Regalado. I have Erin LaVoie on with me today. Welcome, Erin.
Thank you. Hi.
World champion in lumberjack Stuff. You are the Lumberjill, correct?
I'm the Lumberjill.
You are the Lumberjill. You're also the owner of, I know it, Predation
CrossFit
out near the fairgrounds.
Yep.
In good old Spokane, Washington. Mm-hmm. So I can imagine all those years of what you needed to do to train to become a world champion, and chopping logs and doing all sorts of things has given you a lot of skills to share with others in your business.
In the
do
gym?
They know in the gym? Do they know what hit them sometimes when they come to your CrossFit?
They love what I do. They always want to know my stories when I come home from trips and competitions. But I opened the gym with a retired Navy SEAL and my husband at the time, so they knew what they were in for. They were in for a tough ride.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. So you just came back just a couple of weeks ago from winning the world championship in, which city was it in?
Hayward, Wisconsin was the World Championships, and then the following weekend was the Steel Timber Sports Series.
Oh, that's the big deal.
And that was the big deal, which sounds funny because you think the World Championships would be, but I'd won that prior, so I was looking at this new competition that was new this year on the big stage, and it was a Harley Davidson that was up for grabs, so kind of put all of my chips into that basket.
And now you are the proud owner of a
Harley Davidson.
And I love it because someone had commented on your post, what are you going to do with that? And you said,
whatever I want. Whatever I want.
It's kind of how you live your life.
Yeah, it'd be fun to ride, but I have a dog and there's no room for him, and I can't haul my logs around in it, so it might be up for sale. I'm not sure.
But what an incredible feat.
It was pretty awesome.
And you're also the Guinness Book of World Record holder for the most Christmas trees chopped down in 2 minutes.
In 2 minutes. Yeah, that was taken in Cologne, Germany. The previous record was 7. My competitor went up before me. She got 9, and then I did 27.
I just need everyone just to pause for a few moments and soak that in. It's kind of like a moment of silence for the fact that you obliterated.
It was pretty fun. It was really
27. I'm definitely going to look up that video because that sounds...
It's cool. Just Google Erin LaVoie Guinness World Record. It'll come up. I'm in the blue coat.
Blue coat. Well, I don't think it'll be hard to tell who, just strings through 27 trees like that. That's amazing. We are going to take a quick break because we're doing our mini segment, and we're going to be right back. But I want to ask you when we get back, what is your advice to people who want to do something big or change an aspect of their lives and feel stuck or don't know what a first step is? So we'll be right back with you again with Erin LaVoie.
The following is sponsored by our friends and community supporters at McNeese Wheeler Attorneys. McNeese Wheeler is a boutique law firm in Spokane, handling matters in both Washington and Idaho. Areas of law include business law, wills, trusts and estates, family law, personal injury and wrongful death, and real estate matters. For your full-service legal needs, contact McNeese Wheeler Attorneys.
Welcome to Spokane Talks. We have had the opportunity to be out here on the Z Nation set. But also we're excited at Spokane Talks. We have several shows, different genres, from Real Estate Radio, Spokane Talks Live, Meet the Candidates, The Locker Room. We have several shows coming to you that can be found on all social media platforms, as well as coming up on Fox 28. Thank you so much. It's been a great opportunity being here at Z Nation set. Thank you.
Welcome back to She Says. I'm your host, Stephanie Regalado. I have Erin LaVoie, world champion, Lumberjill, and owner of Predation CrossFit. And we talked about right before we get off, people that want to make a change in their life, in any category of their life, but feel stuck in a spot. What do you recommend to people? That first move.
Simply put, get over it. Oh. That's kind of mean, hardcore.
Yes.
I'm always, commit. Figure out what you want, think about what you want, be sure of what you want, commit, and then just make it happen.
How do you think people can best, when they have so much noise in their lives or so many different things going on, how can they get in touch enough with themselves?
Shut it out. Find that outlet. For me, it's working out, and that's the only place where I can actually just shut the door on the entire world and just not think. And when you're not thinking, you start actually thinking about yourself and what you want, and things just come into light for me then. So find that thing. It's often exercise. Just go for a hike. Get away, get out of the city.
Nature.
Go to yoga, just go for a walk. It doesn't matter. Just be able to shut that door, or you're just, some people take a mason jar and they're like, okay, put a lid on it. And just doing that, putting it on the shelf, like they shut it off, they walk away, and then just let it come in.
So the first step isn't necessarily to figure out all the things you want to do in your life and next steps. The first step really is to get in touch with yourself.
I think so.
And figure out heart of hearts what you want to do.
Yeah.
With your life.
That's what I do. Every time I work out, I just come up with all these new ideas of what I want to do next, or something I don't like, something I need to change.
Next big things for you. I mean, you're world champion, but you have other competitions coming up.
Yeah, I've got 3 more competitions this year that I need to start focusing on, and then I'm actually going to go on to the Titan Games with The Rock. I get to meet him. And after that, I just want to keep making the gym more successful, and then find something new.
When your gym's successful, that equates to all the lives that are part of it.
Exactly. That's the best part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those guys are so awesome in there.
And all different ability levels and everyone. Anyone can walk through your doors.
Anybody.
And you're going to meet them where they are.
It's intimidating. Like I said, get over it. Just get yourself through the door. Yeah. I've got your hand from there, and as soon as you're able to have your own hand, then it's fun.
I love it. Thank you so much for joining us today and for representing Spokane in such a marvelous way.
Yeah.
You're an amazing woman. All right.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks for watching.
Cindy Haval is a freelance columnist and correspondent for the Spokesman Review and author of War Bonds, Love Stories from the Greatest Generation. The view from her porch is usually sunny.
Nothing brings life into focus like finding a list of things you wanted when you were 8 years old and comparing it to your grown-up life. That happened to me recently when I went through a box of things my mom has saved since my childhood. But first, can we talk about the hair? I mean, what am I supposed to do with locks of honey gold hair carefully preserved in a Ziploc sandwich bag? My mom has saved that hair for 50 years. It's traveled across the ocean and back, not even attached to my head. Some may say I should put it in a shadow box so my hair will be forever preserved behind glass. I guess I could put my baby teeth in there. Yes, she saved my baby teeth, too. While the hair and the teeth are a bit disturbing, Mom actually saved some of my early writing, including a list called Things I Want. The list reads: a purple bike with training wheels, $1,000, a maroon body shirt with an aqua skirt and white go-go boots, some coral lipstick, some peach lip gloss, some pink blush, and some Pond's cold cream. But most of all, I want God to come. Yes! What can I say? I was 8, going on 18, or 80. I must have been hedging my bets by making the Lord's return my most fervent desire. So here's the roundup. I did not get a purple bike with training wheels. I got a blue bike with a red, white, and blue banana-striped seat. I tried to feel grateful, but I felt like I was riding a boy's bike. I did get $1,000 at some point in my life, but I had to get a job and work for it. I also got a maroon body shirt. For those not familiar with 70s fashion, body shirts were tight-fitting knit shirts with snap crotches. I suppose the idea was that your shirt would stay neatly tucked in, but let me tell you, those snaps were awful if you drank too much Hawaiian punch at a birthday party and had to wait in line for the bathroom. I don't remember an aqua skirt, but my mom had some white plastic go-go boots that ended up in my dress-up box. I loved those boots. I purchased all the makeup I wanted when my parents finally deemed me old enough. but I still haven't used any Pond's cold cream. All in all, most of the things I wanted when I was 8 have come my way, so I can't complain. Now, I'm just waiting for God to come. And that's the view from my front porch.
Thank you for joining us this week on Spokane Talks, and thank you to Spokane Fire Department Station Number 1 for allowing us to shoot on site.